Joining us now, Evangelist Nick Hall. He's the founder of Pulse Evangelism and has been talking to and ministering to people in a very broken community right now in terms of the emotionally charged situation. Nick, I know a lot of frustration, fear, and confusion. Who have you been speaking with, and just kind of paint a picture of what you've seen?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Marni. Minneapolis is my home. It's where my wife and three kids live. I'm in the car because I'm on my way back into this chaos that's happening right now in our streets. People are scared. People are angry. People are upset. And I just believe that it's moments like this that we need the church to stand as people of peace. I've had the chance to be with people on all sides, angry protesters, trying to understand where they're coming from, trying to encourage them towards civil discourse, not to be extreme or amplifying situations. I got to talk to a number of ICE agents. I even met with Chief Bavino. And this is a complicated situation. We need to pray. We need to support and encourage those that are trying to do their jobs. You know, I live here. This is home. I'm used to this winter. Most of these agents have come from border states and all over the country. They didn't choose to be here. They're not wanting to be here. We need to pray. We need to pray for them. We need to pray for the safety of the protesters. We really believe that now is the time to stand and point people to the hope that Jesus offers. And he speaks peace, he speaks truth, but he does call us and encourage us towards justice.
What else, Nick, did Chief Bavino say? And tell me more about that conversation that you had.
Yeah, so I mean, part of my role here in the city is coming alongside the church and serving. We work with hundreds of churches, right? So we are here as leaders of the church. I've met with immigrants in the community. I've met with people who are afraid and in tears. And then I did have the chance to go and meet with Chief Bavino and a number of agents. And yeah, I mean, their hearts are heavy. They're trying to do their job. They're coming in here on assignment. A lot of us have a job that we don't always love parts of the job. It's complicated. It's heavy. Agents are afraid, just like citizens are afraid. And so this is a heightened time where people are trying to understand. I don't think the rhetoric is helpful when it's escalating situations. You know, in our city, we have people that are very impassioned, very divided on many things. A lot of times on the narrative now, people think this city is nuts. But I just want to say there are good people in the city. The church is alive in the Twin Cities. And Chief Bavino is asking for people you know, really just to help them do what they've been asked to do, to not cause more chaos and confusion, to support where they can. And nobody's asking people to not have a voice, not have an opinion. But if we can do it lawfully and peacefully, we need peace in our city. We need justice in our city. And we are just praying for people on all sides that this would be resolved. You know, nobody wants this to continue to go on. And so we need prayer for Minneapolis. We need prayer for our leaders. And we need to stand and just be an encourager in the midst of this.
Yeah, prayer is powerful. And Nick, for folks at home on our screen, we were watching just one of the raids this weekend. We're hearing some of those raids are now expanding outside of Minneapolis and in rural communities. In addition to prayer, though, what do you think it will take to bridge the divide? And have you found that people, in addition to the agents you talk to, but protesters as well, are willing to listen to the other side?
Yeah, I've seen some incredible demonstrations of unity. I've seen ICE agents hugging protesters, right? I've seen conversations happening. I've seen civility, right? I've seen a ton of encounters where agents are going up and talking to people, and it is a peaceful, respectful dialogue. A number of encounters. I saw over 30 encounters where the people they're talking to weren't apprehended. It was a peaceful exchange. It was a safe exchange. It was a respectful exchange, you know. And then on the opposite side, when there's anger and there's agitators, and on either side, somebody's having a bad day, you know, we just need to come in as people of peace. I believe that in moments like this is where you just have to think, what did Jesus do? Jesus entered into conflict. Jesus brought peace in the midst of division. Right now is not the time to run away. And people think I need to leave all these places. We need good people to stand for righteousness, for peace, for justice. And so I'm calling on people to pray and encourage, but man, join in the conversation, but do it with love and respect. Listen, seek to understand. Many passionate people. We don't need more arguments right now.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.